Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce week 4 to you, which is June the 16th through June the 22nd. We're looking at the se en personal and travel vocabulary. You're going to want to study pages 273 to 274, 282 to 288, and pages 298 to 302. After completing this week's work, you should be able to identify the names of various specialty stores and other shopping vocabulary. You should also be able to tell me what each of these venues sells. You should also be able to identify the se en personal and know when and how to use it to communicate in Spanish. You should be able to identify and correctly use travel vocabulary. You should be able to relate basic information about Peru's history, economy, geography, and people. All of this week's assignments address student learning outcomes 1, 2, 3, and 6, and this week's assignments are due on the 20th. To start the week, you're going to want to look at the instructor videos. You've got videos on the se en personal and Chapter 9's vocabulary. After you've watched the videos, you're going to click on the class participation form, click on the thread, hit reply, and post any questions or concerns you have about the material covered in the videos. If you have no questions or concerns, then you need to post that you have no questions or concerns. But you have to post something. This is a grade, and it's one that you cannot make up. You also have assignments in My Language Labs. Remember, if you click on this link and you sign in, it'll take you to My Language Labs. And just make sure that you are on the calendar for the 20th. These assignments should pop up. It'll look like this. Okay. So when you're in My Language Labs, you should click on the course calendar. And then depending on what month you're in, we need to be in June. You may have to toggle over to June. And then you will click on the 20th, and the assignments are going to pop up over here. So if I click on the 20th, they're going to pop up over here on the right. Click on each assignment, open it up, do what the assignment tells you to. Then you hit finish and submit for grading. Remember, you can do each of these assignments as many times as you would like before the assignment's due date, but if you're doing it more than 3 times, I suggest reaching out to me. Okay. We also are having a test on test 2, which is on chapter 8 this week. So when you're ready, open up test 2. Okay, so you open up the quiz. You can see you have 3 hours to complete it, only 1 attempt. So don't open it until you're ready to complete it. So when you're ready, open it. It says, Los veranos con mis abuelos. Juan has great memories. Okay, so the first one says, Los veranos con mis abuelos. Juan has great memories of the times he used to spend with his grandparents when he was younger. Complete the following paragraph with the correct imperfect form of the most appropriate verb. So you're given 2 choices. You pick the verb that would best complete the sentence, and then you conjugate it into the imperfect tense. Donde lo encontraste, match each item with the store where you would buy it. So you read the items that are being sold, and then just write the letter of the store where you would buy each of those items. ¿Qué es esto? Identify each of the items pictured and be sure to include the appropriate definite article, the, along with the word. En la taquilla de Cine Cervantes, read each of the following statements, then based on the picture, decide if they are cierto or falso. If the information is not given, select no se menciona. And I think here it looks like rather than writing A, B, C, go ahead and write the word cierto, falso, or no se sabe. Here, ¿qué son estas cosas? Your roommate is learning some new vocabulary. Help by labeling each of the items pictured below. Be sure to include the appropriate definite article with each word. So just write out what these items are. Íbamos de compras. Listen to Anna describe her seasonal shopping trips with her mother. Then read the following statements and decide whether each one is cierto or falso. If the information is not given, select no se menciona. And again, you need to write in cierto, falso, or no se menciona. Mis vacaciones de verano del pasado. Read the following paragraph about how Catalina, a student at your university, used to spend her summers as a child. Then decide whether each statement is cierto or falso. If the information is not given, select no se menciona. So again, read the statements after reading the paragraph and decide whether those statements are true or false or not mentioned, and you'll write true, false, or not mentioned in the blank. Los números ordinales. Complete the sentences by writing the word for the correct ordinal number. So you'll go through the ordinal number is given to you in parentheses. You need to write it in the blank, following the rules that you've learned for how to deal with ordinal numbers. El pretérito, el imperfecto, complete the following sentences by choosing the appropriate verb. You're choosing between the preterite and the imperfect, so you read through the sentence, decide which of the choices given would best complete the sentence, and write the letter in the blank provided. Pretérito versus imperfecto. Do you know when to use the preterite and when to use the imperfect? Complete the sentences with the correct form of the verb in parentheses. So the verb's in parentheses, turn it into the preterite or the imperfect, and write it in the blank provided. ¿Qué piensas tú? Read each of the following statements carefully, then indicate whether they are lógico o ilógico. So you'll read the statements. If they are lógico, write lógico. If they are ilógico, write ilógico in the blanks provided. Complete the following sentence with the correct form of the verb in parentheses using an impersonal construction with say. So you take the verbs that are in parentheses, conjugate them correctly. This time you should be using the present tense, the say construction with the present tense. And then for number 13, in las tiendas, complete the following sentences with a logical word or phrase from the word bank. So read through the statements below and pick a word from the word bank that would best complete the sentence. Otro examen de vocabulario. It's time for another vocabulary test. Choose the word or words from the list that correctly complete each sentence. So pick a word from here and write it into the blanks provided. And that's everything you have to do for test 2. Okay. Okay, so then you also have a cultural assignment on Peru. This is your second one, so hopefully at this point you know how they work. You've got transcripts in English that you can download here. You have 4 videos to watch on Peru. Remember, you can set your captions to English, so the video will play in Spanish, but you can see the captions in English. After you've done that, hit attempt quiz now. You only have 1 attempt, so don't open it until you're ready. Then you have some fill in the blanks and true false based upon what you've watched in the video. Remember, you have to answer these based on the information given in the video. Okay. You also have your final draft for your writing assignment. You should see this. It's in a previous week at the moment. You will have written a draft. I will have given you feedback. Fellow classmates will have given you feedback. You'll open it up and be able to see your feedback. Then you're going to take that feedback. I'll probably attach a rubric, a link to a rubric that, or a symbol, I'm sorry, not a rubric, a symbol sheet, and those symbols will be embedded throughout your paper so that you can make changes. You will make the suggested changes, and when you're ready, you will hit add a submission, and you will paste in your corrected version of your paper. Okay, and oral dialogue 2, again, you're going to see something that looks like this right above oral dialogue 2. When you get to this week, you'll open it up. You'll see a corrected script. You'll want to use the script that I corrected and use it to make your recording. This is the second one you're doing, so hopefully you understand what you're doing at this point. This just goes over the information that but you've already written it out, so you probably don't need to watch that at this point. But I've given you 4 options for how to make a recording. Option 1 is doing VidGrid, which is what I'm using right now. You'd essentially hit this record button and make your recording and then paste your URL in the submission, but this will walk you through how to do it more in depth. If you use something else, some other recording device on your computer, this will tell you how to upload it to the assignment. If you just want to work through the internet, you can use Vocaroo. I do not think it works on the phone though, but this is the link that will take you out there, and this video will tell you how to use Vocaroo. Again, you'll get a URL that you'll have to paste into the assignment. And then option 4 just tells you how to set up a YouTube account so that you can make a YouTube video and then you could paste your URL into the assignment. So any of those are fine. You just hit add a submission when you're ready, and you will either upload your video or you'll paste a URL into the assignment. Whoops. Okay, and that's everything that you have to do for week 4.